Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today, by popular demand, we are doing 1985's Rocky IV.
If yous can change and eyes can change, then we's can all change.
I didn't like yous guys very much. I can't even do the deep. I didn't even like yous guys very much. Let me get through the promo shit and let's get into this thing. So, if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Kiss the Reviews. And if you want to join Patreon, like a bunch of our other Patreoners, the barrier of entry is $2. You get a whole bunch of cool stuff. All the way up to our tier 3, where you get exclusive KTR merch. You get clips of the movie in the review. You get a pre-show. And then we also do a movie watch with our Patreoners, with our tier 3 Patreoners once a month. So, yeah, it's a good time. So go join us on Patreon. And if you're already a Patreoner, share it with your friends and family and people.
If eyes can join Patreon and yous can join Patreon, then we's can all join Patreon.
Yes, we's can. So let's get into the cast. Rocky IV stars Sylvester Stallone as Rocky Balboa, Talia Shire as Adrian Balboa, Burt Young as Paulie, Carl Weathers as Apollo Creed, Tony Burton as Duke, Dolph Lundgren as Ivan Drago, and Brigitte Nielsen as Ludmilla Drago. I'm going to start this by saying this. I said it in the pre-show, and I don't want to give too much away about what our pre-show is. This one, if you watch the reviews for 1, 2, and 3, and I said, this one's my favorite or that one's my favorite, I lied. That's a bold-faced lie. This one by far is my favorite Rocky movie. This one got me jacked up. The other one's got me in my feels, and you get a little pumped up. Dude, this one is it's here the whole time. There's not like this little lull and then back up again. It's pedal to the floor. Rocky perfected the whole recipe for the Rocky franchise in this movie.
Oh, I'm pretty sure if you watch this and Heartbreak Ridge back to back, you're going to go fight in Ukraine right now. And if you throw in Red Dawn, God help those Russians.
Oh, God. It's over.
It's done.
Over, Rock.
Fuck no. I won't shout Wolverines because fuck Michigan. But... you know what I'm saying. America. And Sly leans into everything that he did in past movies into this one, because obviously in this one opens a little bit differently. It opens like the last ones, but this one, Sly he leaned into montages in this one. There's 10 in this movie. And I learned something in this movie. If you can have this many montages, but the score has got to be right. You got to pick the right song or the right, instrumental for that montage. And he picked all the right ones for this one. But this There's
one
no
opens...
easy way out, dog.
There is no shortcut home.
No. Which I find ironic, though, that he played There's No Easy Way Out when he did a montage. That is literally the easy way out.
It's the easiest.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way out.
You took 17 shortcuts in this and then have the balls to tell us there's no easy way out. Eat a dick, pal.
He was like, dude, I got to keep this under 3 hours. So I got...
the director's cut is long as shit.
But so it opens up, and instead of just playing the whole ending from part 3, he montages it.
So we get the fight between him and Clubber and all of that stuff. So we then get a bunch of Rocky having great family time. You know, Paulie gets his weird robot birthday present, and then Rocky gives Adrian an early anniversary prize. He calls it, he says,
well, open your prize. Go open your prize.
Not your present. Not your present. He says it like 4 times. I got you a prize. Did you win it at a fucking carnival, Rock? What the fuck are we doing here?
You beat me by that much on the carnival.
He was like, I knocked down all the milk bottles. Here's your fucking prize, Adrian.
I drew a ring and it landed on the bottle. I don't know. I only got one eye, but somehow I did it.
I was so nervous. I didn't know.
The gift was like the gold, ain't gonna bite you. The gold fucking snake bracelet thing. You know that thing costs like fucking 15 grand. Okay? If you're dropping 15 grand and you still call the shit a prize, just stop. Just, you're done with life. You've lost. You've lost in life.
I would like to point out that the guy at the jewelry store also thought he was a little handicapped boy because he made a joke about a bracelet looking like a snake, but not biting you. And Rocky thought it was so funny, he told it again.
The guy I bought it from says, even if it looks like a snake, don't worry, because it won't bite you.
He meant see the jewelry store guy's joke.
He did.
You know, when he first heard that, he pissed his pants laughing.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But we also, and by the way, we'll get to this whole robot thing with Paulie. Okay? Because first of all, the robot's creepy as fuck, and Rocky thought that was a good birthday present. Like, you have a drunk fuck up as a brother-in-law who's now living at your house because your old manager's dead. And that's the only reason Paulie's living at their house right now. And you got him a cake, and you bought him a robot? Because
where's my cake?
Where's my cake? We also see Apollo watching TV while he's in the pool. He sees this news story about, the big Russian fighter, Ivan Drago. And so he goes to Rocky's house to tell Rocky and Adrian that he wants to fight Ivan Drago. And I got something here. I disrespected her when I did the cast. But nobody disrespected this one. She's the most disrespected person in the Rocky franchise. Apollo's wife. He goes to visit Rocky and Adrian to tell him, like, oh, I want to fight, blah, blah, blah. Leaves his wife at home. She has like one speaking line in part 2. She is literally the most disrespected actor in the Rocky franchise.
I think she's just a good wife.
Apollo respects Adrian's opinion more than he respects his wife's opinion.
You were correct.
But during this scene, this is why I love this scene, because they're having this very serious conversation about, I want to fight Drago. It's an exhibition match. It's, nothing crazy, but like, I could beat this guy. And they're like, dude, you're old as fuck. Like, stop it. And Paulie's also at the table. And this is where the robot comes back out. We see the robot again. And Paulie has modded out the robot. Yes. To where now it's basically a robotic hooker.
You're the greatest. See you, sport.
Like, it brings them beer. It's got a sexy female voice to it. Who modded this out? Because Paulie didn't. Okay?
Oh, no, he did, dude. There's a fucking director scene in like a cut in Rocky 3 where after he breaks the pinball machine, part of his community service is rewiring electronics. So he totally figures it out.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
He's just like, he's like, you know what? I bet this robot can have a female voice, serve me drinks, and suck a dick.
Dude, I'm telling you,
he went to work.
They allude to it, but Paulie is banging this robot out.
Hell yes.
I don't know where the hole is, but Paulie's putting stuff in it. That's all I know.
Yeah, because here when we leave for Russia, all of Mrs. Apollo Creed's lines went to the fucking robot because she just starts breaking Paulie's balls for no reason. And it's like, you're supposed to be subservient. You're a robot.
Yes.
Apollo Creed's wife is less of a human person than this fucking robot is at this point.
You were correct.
Afterwards, Rocky agrees to train Apollo, and they go to this press conference, which gets a bit spicy. And then we just cut straight to the exhibition, and it's huge. James Brown, dancers, like all kinds of crazy shit in like Vegas.
Yeah, and this was the hint for your ass that Apollo was about to die because he got no training montage whatsoever.
Nope.
His training was the dance choreography for Living in America. That's it.
You were right.
Also, fucking awesome. This is how every boxing match should start.
The only thing I didn't like about this, okay, because all of this, the big like dragon head and Apollo hits it and it like crumbles, it starts to fall apart and he's dancing and James Brown and the whole thing is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But and the shot of Ivan coming up from underneath as the the ring gets raised up. When it gets raised up and the fight starts, they're on a stage. The crowd it's almost like they're at like a concert or a comedy show. The crowd is just on this side. It doesn't surround the ring. Like, I was like, that's the venue you picked? Like, okay, cool. I guess we'll only sell half the tickets that we would have normally sold.
Yeah, that's all you need. Just fight. Fight on Broadway, not in Madison Square Garden. That's dumb. Apparently,
they just charge triple the ticket prices because James Brown is like, I need to get paid for this.
They booked the open mics at Ha-Ha's for this fight.
The fight goes pretty quickly here. Apollo gets absolutely brutalized. He's killed in the ring, and Rocky doesn't throw in the towel. The press swarms in. And as Apollo dies in Rocky's arms, and we get the line that I think everybody knows, whether you've seen this whole movie or not.
The man alive!
Goddamn, one of the best delivered lines in movie history is this reporter, this foreign reporter.
Alive? Is he?
Is the man alive? It's so good. It's so good. Oh my God. And I didn't really notice this next scene. I noticed it obviously because I've seen this movie 1,000 times, but I never understood the gravity of this next scene where Rocky has the press conference with like, he's pissed. He wants to fight the Russian because you killed my buddy. And he holds this press conference where he announces he's fighting Drago in Russia on Christmas without apple pie. He'll have no freedom, all the way leading up to the fight, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't tell anybody about the details. Paulie's at the press conference and he goes, we'll be fighting in Russia on Christmas. And Paulie's like, we're going to fucking Russia? Paulie has no idea. Duke has no idea. Adrian gets home from shopping or wherever the fuck she is that day. There's a bunch of press. The whole press corps is at her house. Like, what do you think about your husband fighting in Russia? She doesn't even know he scheduled the fucking fight.
No, she's like, "Yous is crazy. There ain't no fight scheduled."
I got a quick don't do that for you.
Don't do that. It's not good for you.
Hi, literally everybody. I don't care what your job entails. If it entails some travel, you got to go here for an evening. I don't care if you live in Columbus, Ohio, and you got to travel to Toledo for a day. You should probably tell your family, like, hey, I got a hotel. I'm going to be out for 24 or 48 hours. If you got a fight in Russia, you should probably tell a few people. I don't know, your manager, your agent, your trainer, your wife? No, nobody. Don't do that. Okay. And The other thing is, if you got to travel, especially to Russia, take a paycheck. Okay? This is why Rocky goes broke in part 5, because he didn't get paid for this fucking fight.
That's true. I will say this, though.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, kids. Uncle Corey. Don't listen to anything this motherfucker just said. If you are an American who loves America and your best friend is killed by a fucking foreign invading communist, you handle your motherfucking business like a man. Nobody else needs to come with you. This is a solo mission. I'll do it by myself. Damn that. Damn that. Especially my fucking wife. You can't win. Nobody asked you, bitch. This ain't Rocky 2. Go to sleep.
What the fuck?
Rocky looked at her. He was like, have you not seen the first 3 movies? I can win, and I will win every time.
P.S. We were on a beach like 6 months ago, and you told me not to be afraid. And I wasn't, and I won. So now I should be afraid? Fuck you. You flip-flopping bitch.
Because you're 40 years old, and once again, you're 5'8", and this Russian is 6'4", has the reach of a fucking giraffe neck. Okay, you're not going to get anywhere near this guy.
Yeah, and this leads me to a different point, because when they get to Russia and the training starts, they never mention this. The third one we've talked about. And we've actually gotten comments on the review itself about like mentioning kind of Rocky's strategy and, you know, like playing a little more defense and tiring Clubber Lang out. They don't work on any of that. He really, like Duke and Paulie, just play chess and like Paulie listens to fucking kitty music for some reason.
We know why.
Pervert.
We explained that in part 3.
Nobody will take him to an arcade.
No,
they're like, lucky. No.
He's lucky they're in Russia. That's why Rocky wanted to fight in Russia. He was like, I don't, there's no arcades there.
Yeah, no. They'll sell you a girl in Russia, but they're not just going to drive you to one for free.
Exactly.
That's insane.
Oh,
but yeah, like so. This like there is no talk of strategy here, and it would have been good to be like, hey, man, getting inside his reach is going to be a little bit problematic because, you're fighting a fucking oak tree and his wingspan is the same as a 747. So good luck. I don't know. Let's jump rope and climb a mountain. It's the best I got for you. Pull some rocks up. Pull some rocks up and then drop them and walk away like a joke.
After he talks to Adrian, she tells him, he can't win. We get one of the best montage flashback scenes in movie history. He gets in his Lambo and we get the No Easy Way Out song. Yep. Dude, if you watch this, because the montage and the flashbacks and all the pain and yada yada, like Rocky was like, oh, you guys felt something? I got you in the feels in the last 3 movies. I'm going to show you every one of those scenes. To a dope 80s rock song. And if you don't feel anything, I'm a psycho. If you don't feel anything during this montage, you're a fucking psycho.
Ruh-roh. I was not a fan.
Come on, dude. And no easy way out. Oh, come on. There's no shortcut home.
Well, again, the irony of him playing that song during a montage struck me. Aside. So that hit. When that happens in real time, that takes you out of the moment. Like, did he say no easy way out? This motherfucker. But, no, I just think it's one of those, like, oh, Rocky's preparing to die, so his life is flashing before his eyes. It's like, dude, I get it, but also, I've seen the first 3. Settle down, guy.
It's part of the formula. And this song is better than any of the other songs he's chosen for this exact same scene in the other 3 movies.
I would have been more into it if he was flashbacking on Apollo and having that kind of focus. More of like him and Apollo's relationship. And maybe even showing us some other scenes that didn't make the other movies of him and Apollo like hanging out or talking or blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But this is like, I'm about to fuck. He's like, I'm driving my Ferrari and I'm about to fucking die. Let's think about my life to a dope ass song. Okay. Okay.
You're psycho. You're psycho. I'm going to disagree with you here. This caught me right here. Right here. But Rocky then, after this awesome montage that Corey doesn't like, Rocky then packs the car to go to Russia.
I've seen the 3 movies. I've seen all 3 movies in like the last 2 months, dude. I don't need a fucking recap. Thanks. I'm not new to this franchise by any stretch. And I still need a recap. It's like,
dude, Rocky 4 is like natural cocaine for me. I'm amped just doing the review, okay?
Oh, I can tell you're jazzed.
But Rocky here packs the car to go to Russia. Paulie like bangs his robot one last time. She busts his balls before they leave. And they get to Russia in their like cabin in the mountains. Paulie complains, and I'll say this about Rocky, and this goes for Apollo's funeral. This goes for him when they get off the plane and they get to the little cabin. Mm-hmm. Rocky is dripped out as fuck here. Literally the whole movie, every outfit, I was like, God damn, he looks fantastic.
Yeah, he can afford it because he dresses his fucking wife like an 80s mafia boss's wife. All she's missing is 3 pounds of fucking makeup.
He's got the leather with the fur. Oh my God. I literally, after I totally forgot that he had this jacket. I wanted to find this jacket on Amazon and see if I could buy it.
You are so Italian.
This jacket is dope. Dude, listen, I told you before we started recording, Rocky literally has a sweatshirt that looks exactly like this in that movie. And this has just been hanging in my closet. I didn't buy this recently.
I did. That shocks nobody. That shocks. We know you've seen Rocky 4 before. That shocks nobody.
Oh my God. As soon as I saw the scene, it's like him and his son. I think he's like washing his car. And he like turns to his son, and as soon as I see the shoulders, I was like, "Oh shit! Like I own that. I think I own that." He's got the sweatshirt. I got the zip up. I got the jacket, the warm up.
Tu sei un pazzo! Va via da qui!
I like the scene where they land, and for like a good, I don't know, 5 minutes, they just stand around looking at snow like they're not from South Philadelphia. Like, Jesus Christ, there's snow. Yeah. You're from Philly, dickhead. You had to heat your fucking apartment by burning newspaper on the floor next to your bed. And you're like, oh, it's fucking cold. Yeah.
Dude, your brother was singing doo-wop songs outside your fucking apartment next to a trash can on fire to keep warm.
You were correct.
We get another training montage here, right?
This is dope.
This is another great montage with the high-tech training from Drago, the low-tech working class training from Rocky, and then Adrian shows up at the cabin, and then we get a second, more intense training montage of Rocky and Drago, and then I'll tell you this, during like this second montage where it gets really intense and Rocky's doing his thing, and he obviously was doing some things. It wasn't just Drago that was doing steroids in this movie, because Rocky is ripped. And I'll tell you this, looking at Adrian's face, her basement was flooded during the reverse sit-ups thing where he's holding onto the table and he's just doing the leg lifts and he's just slowly coming down and every shred of muscle is just popping out of his stomach. And I'm not going to lie, I was fucking rock hard during this scene.
Dude, I had a whole water park going on down there. It was fucking insane. My crabs were sliding down slides, dude. It was like fucking baby's day out down there. It was fucking nuts. Yeah, dude. And first off, Sly in a beard. Oof.
That's a great look.
Oof. That's a smoke show. It helps the droopy eye a little bit.
It does. It definitely does, for sure.
And yeah, like the workout scenes of him in the fucking tight 80s spandex and just like raw dog in a bag of rocks and doing reverse sit-ups and shit. It's like, and then he goes back to the old jump rope flippity floops.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is like peak Sly, man. If you're not into this, hit the bricks, kid.
This, I know I said you're a psycho if you don't feel anything during the first one. If you don't feel anything during this, especially some movement downstairs, you got no soul. These two montages are so great, especially that second one after, and Rocky figured it out. Instead of doing one long montage, I'm going to do a short one where we're just training. It's still training. Like nobody's like, our hearts are into it. But then Adrian shows up, we break up the montage, and she's like, you can win. And his voice is all raspy because he's been out running in the cold Russian winter. And then we hit the Autobahn. We go 1,000 miles an hour in this next montage. And then everybody's basement's flooded.
I would say this, though. If I'm Rocky and I'm sporting my beard, you know, everybody's fucking drip drying because of my workouts. I would suggest to Adrian, like, however long we've been married, you've basically been like, don't fight. Okay, let's do it. How about you just have my fucking back from the start? One time. One goddamn time. The only time you ever had my back from Jump Street is when you fucking made me look like an asshole by being like, yeah, you can read off cue cards. Let's do this commercial.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
I'll give you that one.
It takes you to get all horned up and fucking had enough of your spoiled brat kid to fly to Russia just to catch some dick. To be like, hey, I believe in you. Can you throw me a bone? I need a little.
And she does. She just leaves that kid at home. He's going to pull a Menendez on both of these guys later.
Just like the robot's watching him. It's fine.
Be careful with those plaid ones. They belong to the boss.
The robot's like, hey, Rocky Jr., want me to touch your beehole?
Yeah, I don't think the robot has a concept of fucking legal age.
Yes, it's a robot. Your robot is sexualizing your like 8-year-old son. But we cut to the fight, right? Paulie gives his little speech to Rocky before they go to the ring. And Paulie in this movie came back to the lovable loser that we all know and love. Like he took a dip into like the dark side in part 3 where he's like, I'm going to dabble in some light racism here. And then in part 4,
he said some things that are not light racism. That's an experienced racist.
Fair point.
He's thrown a brick through like a black business owner's window before. Like, not in my neighborhood.
but in part 4, he could like Apollo is, you know, obviously friends with Rocky, like, and Apollo and Paulie in part 3 had this like contentious relationship because, you know, Paulie's racist. But like in part 4, it seemed like they're all friends now. Like everybody's cool. There was no like whatever. And now we get to this point before the fight, and Paulie's like, I know I'm a fuck up and I know I'm a loser, but if I could like, it's really weird how he phrased it. Like if I could unzip myself and cut, like I'd want to be you. And like this whole thing gives this little impassioned speech before they go out to the ring.
But if I could just unzip myself and step out and be someone else, I want to be you.
I love Burt Young, and he does a great job as Paulie.
Yes.
That's just a weird thing to say. Especially when my mind is supposed to be on the fight and, you know, avenging my best friend's death.
Yeah.
I don't want, like, I don't need you, like, single white femaling me in the middle of this. Like, I don't want to get knocked out and wake up to Paulie giving me a fucking blowjob in an Adrian wig and a horrible fitting dress.
Well, he does end his, like, little heartfelt, like, sentiment to Rocky by going, now go knock this guy's teeth out. Like, hey, gives him like the little, there's your motivational speech. Like, I can't do it like Mick does, but this is my impersonation of Mick.
Yeah, it was bad. That's like my impersonation of anything.
Yep. But the fight begins. Rocky gets fucked up for a while until Rocky finally hits and cuts Drago in the second round. And now it's a fight. And I'll say this, because after that second round, because right after that, we get into another montage from the second round, or the third round rather, all the way through the 15th round. Because montages and things.
I can see now in Rocky 5 why this man's brain is applesauce.
Oh, yeah.
Because he, again, in 3, he's playing defense. In this, he'll slip a jab every now and again.
No, there's no defense being played.
Dude, he's just getting his fucking head caved in this entire fight. And he literally, the only way he can get, and this is what I did like, because we talked about the reach earlier. The only way he could get inside was to basically put his head down and take the punches and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And he finally gets in close enough to push him back and start hitting him. And I also love Duke's line here where he's like, if you hurt him, you'll take his heart.
Yeah.
Like he's never been hurt before. If you hurt him, you will take his heart. And they play into that too, but it's not. This is where Sly is so good at doing these kind of boxing scenes. Is you could tell Drago is like, holy shit, I got cut.
Yeah.
But it's not like he goes back to the corners like, I got cut. I must become woman now and make bread. You know what I mean? He's just like, oh, fuck. Like, okay, we're in a fight now. And he's like, that leads on to Drago's speech later where he's like, I'm fighting for me.
Yeah. Like,
basically, fuck Russia, fuck the premiere, fuck you. This is for me.
Yeah.
And that's what changed for him is, oh, okay, like, this is a real-ass fight.
Yeah.
I just, quietly, they turn that around.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you're just kind of like, oh, people are hitting each other, you don't see it. But if you know boxing and see what changes there and that momentum, it's so great.
No, it's fantastic. And I'll say this. Tony Burton, who plays Duke, in part 1, he did a good job. In part 2, when they're in the office and Apollo's trying to get the rematch, and he gives this impassioned speech to Apollo, like, he's not good for us, baby. Like, you kept hitting him. He kept coming back. And he does this whole thing. He's such a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
And in this movie, like, I was like, oh my God, this guy should have had way more lines in all of these movies. Because here, at the end of that second round, where he's like, you hurt him. He can be beat. He's a man. He's not a machine. And he's basically screaming at Rocky here. And I was like, yo, I want to fucking run through a brick wall for this dude. He got me so hyped up when he does this little thing with Rocky after the second round. I was like, all right, I'm ready to just start working out right now. Like I did push-ups during the 15th round. Like that's what I was doing.
You see, he's not a machine. He's a man.
Dude, no, I love him. Like, look, you can never replace Burgess Meredith. That character is just iconic, goes down as one of the all-time best written characters, especially supporting character ever. He's fantastic. Tony Duke, however, is right fucking there.
Oh, absolutely.
He is so good.
Mm-hmm.
So good. And it's just, like you said, dude, like you want to do push-ups. You want to, even when they go into like, what is it, Rocky Balboa?
Yeah.
Because he's not really in the 5th one that much, I don't think. I don't think he's with Tommy Gunn. I think that's mainly Rocky and Tommy.
Yeah, I think so. I only saw that movie twice because it was dog shit.
Yeah, it's terrible. But when he comes back and he's like, you can't do this because you got arthritis in your knees. You can't do this because of that. And he's like, we're just going to build hurt bombs. I'm still like, fuck yeah, we are. Like, you're goddamn right we're going to build some fucking hurt bombs.
I like that.
That's love it so much.
But we get that here to the 15th and final round. Drago beats up like the member of like the Politburo.
Yeah, fuck you.
He fights for himself. Rocky then gets back to talking a little bit of shit here as he's getting hit. And then both fighters stand toe to toe in the middle of the ring, and they just both take headshots until finally Rocky knocks Drago out. And the movie should have ended here like it ended in the other movies. Like, I know he, you know, in the other movies, like, yo, Adrian, and that thing. But Rocky here then gives a speech after every Russian starts cheering for Rocky. And then Gorbachev stands up and claps for Rocky's like words of inspiration. And then the movie ends. And I was like, oh, I was so bought in and so with you. And then you just let me down at the end like that. We didn't need that little bow. He beats the Russian. End of movie.
Yeah, we're Americans. We don't care about messages.
Like,
did we win the war? End of discussion.
Yes, we won the fight. We're done.
Yeah.
We're done. That was literally the only thing. And not only just because of, you know, the speech, but like you have the speech and you have the translator in there and he's like, use guys. I didn't like use guys too much. And then he talked perfectly fine in this movie. And I know he took 45,000 headshots during this fight, but also he reverted back to like Rocky 1.
Oh, he gets really dumb for like the end of this movie and Rocky 5. Yeah. I mean, he's a fucking moron.
Yeah, Rocky 5
like worse than
begins in the shower with him basically with CTE attacking him.
The worst CTE ever.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you watch during the speech, partway through it, Adrian does this like she's crying, and I shit you not, I think she's laughing her motherfucking ass off. I think Talia Shire could not hold it together. Because she puts her head down and she cannot pick it back up. It is so fucking funny. It's just, again, it's not that the message was wrong or bad even.
No, not at all.
It was the yous can change and eyes can change. Like,
I mean,
just give a fucking, you don't have to put on your work boots and your blue collar jeans just to make sure everybody knows you're an everyman and you don't speak no goods because you ain't no educated pussy. Fuck you, dude. Just speak like a speak English.
I mean, I'll say this. I'm not going to give it a total pass. Okay, I know I love this movie. I'm not going to give it a total pass. But it was 85 at the height of the Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess, like, for me now in 2024, I'm like, no. But you know, in the theater in 85 when this motherfucker came out, everybody was like, yeah. Waving American flags like in South Park.
Hey, waiter, this soup is too hot. I can't even eat it. I'll cool it down.
By the way, quick reality check for Rocky. When you come home, you're probably being brought up on charges because you violated a very well-known act in the Constitution, which prohibits you from going over and actually talking to foreign dignitaries, which is what you just did and apparently negotiated the end of communism, which I don't know if you know this, was big business for America.
Yes.
Communism is why God is written on our money. It's why kids had to say the Pledge of Allegiance to God in their classrooms. Communism invited all of that into our lives. Yeah. So, if you praise Jesus, thank communism.
Oh my God. But yeah, so, dude, at the end of the day, I freaking love this movie. I love the Rocky franchise. I think this is where a lot of people checked out until Balboa came out. Or Rocky Balboa came out. But because I think a lot of people were like, Rocky 5? Does there need to be one? We beat the Russians. Like we own the universe. We punched Russia out of existence. We're done here, right? But no, man. And Rocky still stayed true. He kept the one thing that he figured out in part 3, in part 4, and he amped it up a little bit. If you oil 2 boxers up, it looks fantastic on film, because Rocky and Drago looked like they got dipped in P. Diddy's vat of fucking baby oil before they got into the ring. And on that note, I think we'll end it there. This one was requested by Jim, Damien, a slew of others on Patreon, so we got to it as quickly as possible. But for Corey,
do not request Rocky 5.
No,
skip right to Balboa. Yes. Yeah, we won't. I'm drawing a fucking line in the sand. Damien, Jim, Steph, I don't give a fuck. Christina, Armando, I have drawn a fucking line in the sand, and that's Rocky 5. That's my breaking point.
Same. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Don't ruin this for us.
No. So go to Rocky Balboa though, and you got us.
For Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1985's Rocky 4.